Hello and welcome. Let's be honest for a moment. Is getting out of your favorite armchair starting to feel like a major life event? Or do you find yourself hesitating at the top of the stairs, not because you're out of breath, but because you're just not as confident in your legs as you used to be? If you're nodding your head, you are far from alone. Researchers have found that after age 50, we can lose muscle mass at a rate of 1 to 2% every single year. By the time we reach our 80s, that number can climb to a staggering 50% of people being affected by significant muscle loss. This isn't just about feeling weak, but what if I told you that a huge part of this puzzle isn't found in a complicated exercise machine, but right on your dinner plate and in your vitamin cabinet? There are three essential vitamins that act as the foundation for strong, steady legs, and they are the secret weapon most people are overlooking. And if you've been telling yourself, well, this is just what getting older feels like, I am here today to respectfully and powerfully challenge that idea. Weakness is not a mandatory part of aging. In the next 25 minutes, we're going on a deep dive. We're going to count down the top 10 hidden culprits behind that leg weakness, and most importantly, reveal the three powerhouse vitamins that can help you fight back and start reclaiming your strength, your balance, and your confidence. The problem we're tackling today is that gradual, frustrating loss of leg strength that can creep up on us. It's what makes us worry about falls, what stops us from gardening or playing with the grandkids with the same vigor. Our goal today is not just to talk about it, but to give you a clear, actionable plan to revitalize your lower body strength from the inside out. To do this, we're not just relying on opinions. We'll be drawing on research and guidelines from some of the most trusted health institutions in the country, including the National Institute on Aging, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the Mayo Clinic. This is about real science, made simple. To make this easy to follow, we're going to structure our conversation as a countdown. We'll start at number 10 and work our way down to the number one reason why our legs can feel weaker after 60. For each point, we'll uncover why it happens, and I'll give you a simple, powerful action step you can take. And woven throughout this countdown, we'll reveal the three essential vitamins that are the key to turning this all around. You'll definitely want to stick around for our top three culprits. Number 3 will reveal the vitamin that acts like the electrical wiring for your muscles. And number 2 is a vitamin that over half of us are deficient in, especially as we get older. It's a true game changer for preventing falls. And of course, a quick but very important reminder, I'm not a doctor, and this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice from your own physician. Always consult your personal healthcare provider for any questions about your health and before starting any new supplement regimen. Now let's begin our countdown. All right, let's kick off our countdown with the one culprit that can sabotage all our other efforts before we even begin. Coming in at number 10 is the myth that significant weakness is an inevitable, non-negotiable part of getting older. This isn't about biology. I think of my friend Barb, a retired physical therapist. She's in her late 70s and says, there is a wheelchair waiting for every one of us, and the point is to stay the hell out of it. She sees so many of her peers give up, thinking their best days are behind them. But Barb started strength training at 65 and is now stronger and more active than she was a decade ago. She chose to fight the myth, not her age. Your action step here is a mental one. For 1 week, every time you catch yourself thinking, I'm too old for that, I want you to rephrase it to, how can I approach this safely? Or, what's one small step I can take to build up to that? Change the inner dialogue from a period to a question mark. Now, this mindset shift is powerful, but it doesn't replace common sense. If you're experiencing sudden, sharp pain or a rapid loss of function, that's not just in your head. That is absolutely a signal to see your doctor immediately, as it could be a sign of a more serious underlying issue, like a pinched nerve or something else that needs professional evaluation. Once we've got our mindset right, we can look at the physical factors. And the most fundamental one, which many of us neglect, brings us to number 9. Coming in at number 9 is one of the simplest and most overlooked culprits: chronic, low-grade dehydration. Think of the cartilage in your joints, the cushion between your bones, like a sponge. When it's well hydrated, it's plump, squishy, and provides a fantastic cushion. But when you're dehydrated, that sponge dries out. It becomes thin, brittle, and doesn't protect your joints as well, leading to aches and stiffness that make you not want to move. Furthermore, your muscles themselves are over 75% water. Proper hydration is essential for nutrient transport, waste removal, and the simple act of muscle contraction. Without enough water, everything just works less efficiently, leading to cramps and that heavy, fatigued feeling in your legs. I remember my own father, a man named Bob, who swore he drank plenty of fluids, but his fluids were 2 pots of coffee in the morning and a couple of glasses of iced tea in the afternoon, both of which can actually be dehydrating. He couldn't figure out why his knees ached so much and his legs felt heavy and cramped by 3 p.m. When his doctor finally convinced him to swap half of that coffee and tea for plain water, he was stunned. Within 2 weeks, he said it felt like someone had oiled his joints. Your action step is simple and measurable. Get a 32-ounce water bottle. Your goal is to finish it by lunchtime, and then refill it and finish it again by dinner time. It's not about chugging. Of course, if your leg cramps are severe and persistent, or if you're experiencing signs of serious dehydration like confusion, dizziness, or a very rapid heartbeat, that's more than just a need for a glass of water. That's a time to seek medical attention right away. So we've covered what you need to drink, but what about what you need to eat? That brings us to the absolute foundation of muscle tissue and culprit number 8. At number 8, we have the protein gap, the common underestimation of how much protein our bodies need as we age to maintain and build muscle. If we're building a strong leg, protein is the bricks and steel. It is the literal building block of muscle tissue. As we get older, a process called anabolic resistance can set in. This is a fancy way of saying our bodies become less efficient at using the protein we eat to build new muscle. So not only do we need to keep eating enough protein, many of us actually need more than we did in our younger years just to maintain the status quo and fight back against sarcopenia. A woman in an online health forum shared her story. She was a vegetarian, very health conscious, but her legs were getting progressively weaker. She was eating salads and vegetables, but her main protein sources were few and far between. Her doctor pointed out she was likely only getting 30 to 40 grams of protein a day. He didn't tell her to eat meat, but he did have her start consciously adding protein-rich sources like Greek yogurt, lentils, and a clean protein powder to her diet. She said the difference in her energy and strength in just a month was night and day. Here's a simple target to aim for based on recommendations from health experts. Try to get about 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal. What does that look like? It's about a chicken breast the size of a deck of cards, a cup of Greek yogurt, or a generous serving of beans and rice. The goal is to spread your protein intake throughout the day to give your muscles a constant supply of building materials. It's important to note, if you have kidney disease or other specific health conditions, your protein needs may be different. This is a crucial conversation to have with your doctor or a registered dietitian before making any major changes to your diet. Now that we have the right mindset and the right building materials, we have to address the biggest barrier that stops people from using their muscles in the first place. That brings us to number 7. Coming in at number 7 is a powerful, invisible force: the fear of falling. Here's the dangerous cycle that traps so many people. You feel a little unsteady, so you become afraid of falling. That fear makes you move less. You avoid walks, you stop carrying your own groceries, you stay seated more often. But less activity leads to weaker muscles and poorer balance. This, in turn, makes you more unsteady, which increases your fear, which leads to even less activity. It's a vicious downward spiral. The statistics are sobering. 1 in 4 Americans over 65 falls each year, and falling once doubles your risk of falling again. It's no wonder that studies show over a third of older adults are moderately or very afraid of falling. I read a story about a gentleman named Arthur. After a minor slip in his kitchen, he became terrified of falling again. He gave up his daily walk to the mailbox. He stopped going down the basement stairs to do his laundry. Within 6 months, his world had shrunk to 2 rooms of his house, and his legs had become so weak he truly was at high risk. His daughter finally convinced him to see a physical therapist, not for an injury, but for his fear. They started with simple, safe exercises to rebuild his confidence as much as his strength. Your action step is to fall-proof your environment to reduce the source of the fear. Take 15 minutes today and do a safety walk through your home. Look for loose rugs, poor lighting in hallways, or clutter on the floor. Fixing these simple hazards can dramatically increase your confidence to move freely in your own space. Consider installing grab bars in the bathroom. It's a simple, empowering modification that provides stability and peace of mind. If your fear of falling is overwhelming, leading to anxiety, depression, or causing you to severely limit your daily activities, it's time to talk to a professional. A doctor or physical therapist can create a safe, supervised program to help you break the cycle of fear and inactivity. Breaking that cycle of fear often starts by paying closer attention to our bodies, which leads us directly to culprit number 6. At number 6 is the habit of dismissing our body's early warning signs. We ignore the whispers until they become screams. A little morning stiffness? Oh, that's just age. A tingling in your feet? My foot must have fallen asleep again. A new feeling of weakness when climbing stairs? I must be tired today. We write these things off, but often these are the very first signs of underlying issues, like a nutritional deficiency or nerve irritation, that are much easier to address when caught early. That numbness or tingling, for example, is a classic early symptom of a vitamin B12 deficiency, which we'll talk more about in a bit. It's a whisper from your nerves that they need more support. On a Mayo Clinic forum, a woman described months of increasing leg weakness and balance problems. Her doctors ran tests that came back normal. She was frustrated and started to believe it was all in her head or just her new normal. Finally, a new doctor tested her vitamin B12 levels and found she was severely deficient. For her, the whisper was a balance issue that she almost learned to live with, when in fact it was a clear, treatable sign her body was sending. Your action step is to become a body detective. For 1 week, keep a small notebook. Don't judge, just observe. Jot down any new or persistent feelings: stiffness in the morning, a buzz in your toes, a moment of unsteadiness. Note the time of day. After a week, look for patterns. This isn't for self-diagnosis, but to give you specific, valuable information to share with your doctor. While gentle observation is good, Some signs are not whispers. Sudden weakness on one side of the body, sudden vision changes, or difficulty speaking are BEFAST warning signs of a stroke and require an immediate 911 call. Don't wait. Okay, let's pause and take a quick breath. We are halfway through our countdown. So far, we've talked about the power of our mindset, number 10, the importance of hydration, number 9, getting enough protein, number 8, overcoming the fear of falling, number 7, and listening to our body's whispers, number 6. The common thread here is that these are all things firmly within our control. They are small hinges that swing big doors. And by the way, if you're finding this deep dive helpful and are ready for the top 5 game changers, do me a small favor and tap that like button right now. It really helps our channel reach and support more people just like you. Thank you for that. All right, are you ready for the top 5? This is where we get into the heavy hitters and reveal the 3 essential vitamins that form the core of our revitalization strategy. Kicking off our top 5, at number 5 is the most direct and powerful physical culprit of them all, the inactivity trap. Our muscles operate on a simple, brutal principle: use it or lose it. When we are inactive, our body, being incredibly efficient, sees our muscles as expensive tissue to maintain. It takes energy to keep them around. So if they're not being used, the body begins to break them down. This is the very definition of sarcopenia. It's not just about a lack of formal exercise. Think about what happens when someone has to wear a cast for 6 weeks. When that cast comes off, the arm or leg muscle has visibly shrunk. It's weak and shaky. That's sarcopenia in fast forward. Our sedentary lifestyles can act like a slow-motion cast on our entire lower body. Your action step is to break up your sitting. Set a timer on your watch or your kitchen stove for 30 minutes. Every time it goes off, simply stand up. Walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. March in place during a commercial break, or do a few gentle stretches. The goal isn't a full workout. While movement is lotion for the joints, as they say at Ohio Health, if you have significant pain, shortness of breath, or chest discomfort with light activity, stop immediately and consult your doctor. It's important to start slow and listen to your body. To make that movement effective, our muscles need to be strong and resilient, and that requires a specific structural protein. This brings us to culprit number 4, and our first essential vitamin. At number 4, we have the collagen crisis. This is the weakening of our body's connective tissues, the ligaments and tendons that connect muscle to bone, which makes movement feel unstable and painful. If protein is the bricks of our muscles, then collagen is the mortar that holds it all together. It's the strong, flexible protein that gives structure to our muscles, tendons, and even our skin. Here's the secret. Your body can't make collagen without our first essential vitamin, vitamin C. Vitamin C is a crucial cofactor, meaning it's a helper molecule for the enzymes that build strong, stable collagen fibers. Without enough vitamin C, the collagen you produce is weak and brittle, leading to less resilient muscles and a higher risk of injury. Think of it like trying to build a brick wall with watery, poor-quality mortar. The wall will be weak and unstable. Many people focus only on the protein bricks and forget the vitamin C mortar. A friend of mine who started taking a collagen supplement for her skin was shocked when she noticed the biggest difference was in her nagging knee and shoulder aches. What she was really doing was giving her body the building blocks, collagen, and the essential tool, vitamin C, which is often included in collagen supplements to repair that connective tissue. Your action step is to become a vitamin C champion. You don't necessarily need a supplement. The recommended daily amount for men is 90 milligrams and for women is 75 milligrams. You can get this easily. Just a half cup of chopped red bell pepper, one medium orange, or a cup of strawberries will get you there. Make it a goal to include one bright-colored, vitamin C-rich fruit or vegetable with at least 2 of your meals each day. While it's hard to get too much vitamin C from food, high-dose supplements can cause issues like stomach upset or even kidney stones in some people. The upper limit is generally considered 2,000 milligrams a day. Importantly, high doses can interact with certain medications like statins, estrogen, and blood thinners like warfarin. So if you're taking these, a conversation with your doctor before supplementing is non-negotiable. So we have our building blocks and the mortar to hold them together. But how do we get the instructions from our brain to our legs to actually move? That requires clear communication, which brings us to culprit number 3 and our second group of essential vitamins. Coming in hot at number 3 is the nerve signal scramble. This is when the communication lines between your brain and your leg muscles get fuzzy, leading to weakness, poor coordination, and that frustrating feeling that your legs just aren't listening. Think of your nervous system as the electrical wiring of your house. Your brain is the main circuit breaker, and your nerves are the wires running to every light and appliance, in this case, your muscles. For these wires to work properly, they need 2 things: energy and insulation. This is where our second group of essential vitamins, the B vitamins, come in. Vitamin B1, thiamine, is the nerve energizer, helping convert food into the energy nerve cells need to fire. Vitamin B6, pyridoxine, is the signal transmitter, helping to create the chemical messengers, or neurotransmitters, that carry signals across the nerve endings. And perhaps most importantly, vitamin B12, cobalamin, is the nerve insulator, essential for building and maintaining the protective myelin sheath that surrounds our nerves, preventing the signal from short-circuiting. A gentleman on a senior health forum described a persistent, annoying tingling and numbness in his feet, along with growing weakness and balance problems. He was worried it was something terrible. It turned out to be a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. As we age, our ability to absorb B12 from food can decrease, especially if we take common medications for acid reflux. For him, the electrical signals to his feet were getting scrambled because the insulation was wearing thin. B12 supplementation, prescribed by his doctor, helped restore that clear signal. Since B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products, if you are a vegetarian or eat very little meat, you are at higher risk. Your action step is to be mindful of B vitamin-rich foods. Excellent sources of B6 include chicken, fish, potatoes, and bananas. For B12, focus on fish, meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy. Fortified breakfast cereals are a great option for both. If you suspect a deficiency, ask your doctor for a simple blood test. The symptoms of B12 deficiency, fatigue, weakness, numbness or tingling, balance problems, and confusion, should never be ignored, as untreated deficiency can lead to permanent nerve damage. On the flip side, while B12 is generally safe even in high doses, taking too much vitamin B6 from supplements, over 100 milligrams a day, can ironically cause nerve damage and a lack of muscle control. So it's crucial not to overdo it and to stick to recommended amounts. We've built our muscle structure, and we've wired it for communication. Now we need the master key that unlocks the whole system's potential. This brings us to the number 2 culprit, and our third, and perhaps most important, essential vitamin. Here we are at number 2. This might be the single most critical, correctable issue for leg strength and fall prevention after 60. It's the sunshine shortage, a widespread deficiency in vitamin D. Vitamin D is our third essential vitamin, and it's unique because it acts more like a hormone. It's the master key for your muscles and bones. First, it acts as the gatekeeper for calcium. You can eat all the calcium in the world, but without enough vitamin D, your body can't absorb it properly to keep your bones strong and dense. Think of vitamin D as the conductor that directs calcium to your bones. But here's the part most people miss. Your muscle cells themselves have vitamin D receptors. Vitamin D directly signals your muscle cells to grow, to repair, and to contract powerfully. Studies have shown that a deficiency is directly linked to the wasting of our fast-twitch muscle fibers, the very fibers we need to react quickly to prevent a fall. I spoke with a woman, Jean, who at 72 had 2 bad falls in 1 year. She was scared and her doctor ran some blood work. Her vitamin D level was critically low. This is incredibly common. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight, and we tend to spend more time indoors. Jean's doctor started her on a prescribed vitamin D supplement. 6 months later, she told me, "It's not just that I feel stronger, I feel steadier. The heaviness in my legs is gone." She was directly experiencing the effect of giving her muscles the hormonal signal they had been missing. The National Institute on Aging recommends 600 IU international units of vitamin D per day for adults up to age 70, and 800 IU for those over 70. It's very difficult to get this from food alone. Fatty fish like salmon, fortified milk, and fortified cereals are the best sources. Because deficiency is so common, this is one vitamin where you should absolutely talk to your doctor about getting your levels tested and discussing supplementation. It's a simple blood test that could change everything. More is not always better. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning your body stores it. While the safe upper limit is around 4,000 IU per day, taking megadoses without medical supervision can lead to vitamin D toxicity. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, muscle weakness, and confusion, caused by a dangerous buildup of calcium in the blood. Always supplement under the guidance of your healthcare provider. And that brings us to the #1 culprit. We've covered mindset, diet, fear, and the 3 essential vitamins. But there's one final piece of the puzzle that underpins it all. Before we get to #1, let's pause for a practical moment. We've talked a lot about vitamins, and for many of us, especially with vitamin D and B12, a supplement might be recommended by our doctor. But walking into the vitamin aisle can be overwhelming. The labels are confusing. So let's quickly demystify the supplement facts panel so you can be a savvy consumer. First, look at the serving size. Is it 1 tablet or 2? Many people get this wrong. A bottle might say 1,000 milligrams on the front, but the serving size is 2 tablets, meaning each one is only 500 milligrams. Then look at servings per container. This tells you how many days the bottle will last if you take it as directed. Next, the amount per serving column tells you the dose of the nutrient. Beside it, the daily value percentage DV tells you what percentage of the recommended daily amount that serving provides based on a general 2,000-calorie diet. Remember, your personal needs, especially after 70, might be higher than the 100% DV, as we saw with vitamin D. Always scan the other ingredients list. This is where you'll find fillers, binders, and artificial colors. A shorter list is often a better sign. This is also where allergens like soy or wheat will be listed. Finally, because supplements aren't regulated as strictly as drugs in the US, look for a third-party certification seal on the bottle. Seals from USP, US Pharmacopoeia, or NSF International mean that what's on the label is actually what's in the bottle. It's a mark of quality and purity. And now, the #1 culprit, the single biggest threat to your leg strength after 60. It's not food. It's not a lack of exercise. It's not even a vitamin deficiency. It is the core belief that you are simply a passenger on this journey of aging, rather than the pilot in the cockpit. Everything we've discussed, all 10 points, hinges on this one idea: agency. It's the difference between saying, "My legs are getting weak," and asking, "What can I do to make my legs stronger?" The first statement is passive and surrenders control. The second is active and reclaims power. The science is clear. Your body is designed to respond to the demands you place on it and the fuel you give it. Whether you are 28 or 82, embracing this mindset is the ultimate act of revitalization. The writer Betty Friedan said, "Aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. The opportunity is to use the wisdom you've gained to care for your body with intention. The strength comes from knowing you have the power to make choices every single day that build you up." So, as we've seen today, revitalizing your leg strength isn't about one magic pill or a single secret exercise. It's about building a system. It's about having the right mindset to start the journey. It's about providing your body with the fundamental raw materials like water and protein. It's about creating a safe environment to conquer fear and learning to listen to your body's whispers. And it's about fueling that entire system with the essential vitamin infrastructure. Vitamin C as the mortar for your connective tissues, B vitamins as the wiring for your nerves, and vitamin D as the master key that unlocks it all. The most important message I want you to take away today is this: you are the chief executive of your own health. You have more control than you've been led to believe. Weakness is not your destiny. It is a condition, and conditions can be changed with small, intelligent, consistent choices. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these points was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the vitamin D connection to falls, the use it or lose it principle, or maybe the power of mindset? Leave a comment down below. I read every single one, and your story could inspire someone else in our community. If you found this deep dive valuable and you want more content that empowers you to live a stronger, more vibrant life after 60, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It's a privilege to be on this journey with you. Here's to your health, your strength, and your independence. I'll see you in the next video.